parasol mushrooms really are the stuff of fairy tales, you know. They can grow to like 1/2 meter tall, and the cap can be like 1/2 meter in diameter. They can just be massive. I mean, there's loads of them in this small field that I'm in. There's some more over there, there's some over there. There's probably like 20 in this field, I think. And, you know, they're just an incredibly delicious gourmet edible mushroom. They're one of the tastiest mushrooms I've ever eaten. Now, despite this mushroom being a real forager's favourite throughout the autumn months because of its flavour and nutritional content, there's something about this mushroom that not a lot of people know about, something very, very important and very amazing. And even if you were to go on like a wild food foraging workshop and this mushroom was covered in that workshop, it's highly unlikely that this piece of information would actually be covered even in a situation like that. And that's that this mushroom has a very powerful antibiotic property to it. That covers a number of different pathogenic bacteria to the human body, but in particular the Staphylococcus aureus bacteria. So the dreaded staph infection that affects, you know, anyone of any age, and it can cause some real serious health problems as a result. Now, the staph infection normally gets in through like an injury, like a break in the skin or something like that. It can be contracted from one person to another very, very easily. And the really big problem with a staph infection, or with the specific Staphylococcus aureus bacteria, is that in increasingly more cases nowadays, it's becoming antibiotic resistant, and it's actually taking a number of different pharmaceutical antibiotics before it's actually defeated within the human body. So we've got to endure an absolute barrage of very, very strong different antibiotics before we can actually get it under control. And, you know, for some people, no antibiotics work. Whereas this mushroom has been tried and tested many, many times to have an incredibly powerful action against that bacteria in particular. So this is like super important information regarding a widely available, edible, gourmet, delicious edible mushroom that you can find in, you know, so many different parts of the world. Now, they do really like growing in fairly thick thatched grass like we've got in this field. And they're a kind of edge species, you know. They really like to grow on the edge of an ecosystem, or on the kind of in between two different ecosystems. So you'll always find them on the edge of the forest. And quite often they like to grow underneath. I mean, I've found them underneath pine trees quite a lot. Sometimes they can grow in a kind of scattered circle around the base of a pine tree. Obviously a freestanding pine that's not like buried in the forest. But yeah, I mean, you know, they're very easy to identify. They're absolutely enormous. They've got this kind of snake skin-like pattern on the top. They've normally got a little ring around the stem. I mean, these ones are quite... there it is. The ring's kind of breaking apart a little bit because, you know, these are fairly well developed now. They start off as a little bulb, and as the mushroom grows, it opens out into this kind of umbrella, you know, I mean, hence the name parasol mushroom. It just opens out like a parasol. I just noticed that these parasol mushrooms have actually got some fungal neighbours just growing right next to them. I'm sure many of you will already know what these are. The Psilocybe semilanceata, or the magic mushroom. Now, I've got absolutely no idea if these are any kind of indicator species for one another or not. I don't know that at all, but they're definitely growing right alongside each other, so there's no doubt that there's a kind of mycelial communication taking place between the two species. So from what I understand, there's still a lot more research that needs to be done on the parasol mushroom, but the work that's already been conducted regarding its effect on the staph bacteria is absolutely conclusive. So, you know, really it's just another demonstration of how we shouldn't ever underestimate the healing wisdom of nature.